All right, hello everyone. You excuse the technical stuff. We are in the process of setting stuff up for the first time, but welcome so much to the very first match of the bracket stage of the TTCC 2024. The very first two-tally community championship. I will be casting this first match between IlluminatiSalad and Lawr. We will see if I get joined by someone as it goes. I'm not quite sure. It might be just me, but we'll make the best out of it regardless. It's gonna be fine, I think. But yeah, for the first matches this week, or for every match this week rather, we have quite the juicy lineup of songs. I'm sure most of the people in chat have already seen them, but for those who haven't, we will be going over them in detail later, but it does include a lot of bangers. We have Anamana Gucci with Miki, we have Bedroom Community by Glasshouse, Boy Kisser, RAM, 9.8. We have some Max Tundra in here with I actually forgot the names of the chart. Number our days, or is it number your days? I think number our days. Should have this in front of me, maybe when I'm listening to songs. Is the chat supposed to show up on the left? I believe that is something we want to do, yes. Yeah, I can say right away, we're gonna have some hiccups on the technical side. Just for this, it was a lot of stuff that had to be done last minute with just spectating the matches simultaneously in the first place, because we did figure out that the client that has been developed in advance, it's not that part isn't last minute. It has been developed a long time ago, this client. But it sadly has broken with a recent patch, so that had to be kind of repaired very, very last minute. So excuse us if there's other stuff that seems a bit out of place, like the Twitch chat. We will have that up and going. If not for the match later today, it will be for tomorrow. And definitely for next week, so bear with us. We have a lot of stuff in place already, as you can see with the brilliant visuals that Phoenix... I don't actually know how to pronounce your Twitch name. PX. Phoenixilian? Is the X part of the second word or the first one? It's Phoenix, right? Phoenixilian? I'm starting to ramble already. That's a good sign. I don't know how long I have to talk for before we get into it. I'm assuming other people are handling the organization side of this. But yeah, PX has done a lot of visuals, but we have other people too. I won't spoil too much, because we'll get there once the graphics come up on the screen. But yeah, we will be doing shoutouts, of course, to the multiple people who have made this event happen. We can just right away shout out, of course, to Grist, the Grist collector himself. Not quite sure if he is sleeping right now. Maybe. It is pretty late in his time. It is currently 5 AM in Gristland, so probably sleeping. But yeah, Grist is the main proponent of the organization and everything TTCC. So shoutouts. And you also have, of course, Electro, who is a competitor. He will be playing in the next match after this. It's not gonna be following this match. It's gonna be a bit of a break between them. And that's going to be a common theme, I think, for the weeks. It's not going to be like a very consistent stream schedule for these matches, because we are putting a lot of effort into making sure that the competitors are able to show up. So if it so happens that some matches have to be scheduled very far apart from each other just to make them happen at all, we'd much rather want that than to have like one concurrent stream, right? So that's just how it's gonna be. But we will make sure to inform everyone when the streams are going live, and we have the schedule in the Tutali server, and I think in all our socials, on Twitter, on YouTube, community tabs, like you can find visuals and stuff there. I mean, I'm reading chat while talking, not very smart. You can find the schedule there, of course. Alright, we are ready to switch to the map pool itself, because the first map has been selected. It is Miku. So yeah, here are all the shards for this week 1 of the bracket stage. For those who don't know, this is I'll go through this later too, I think, but yeah, it's a normal 16 bracket with a losers bracket. So the people who are going to be on the losing side of the matchups this week will be in the losers bracket for next week, but we'll be playing the same shards, because I know like that might be a bit confusing, but yeah, it's the same shards for both the losers bracket and the main bracket, the winners bracket. It just depends on the week, right? So every week there's going to be a new set of shards. Okay, but yeah, let's get ready for Miku. IlluminatiSalad versus Lawr. Illuminati is of course 4th on the leaderboards. Lawr, I don't have it memorized, but it's below 4th. So Lawr is 100% the underdog coming into this, I will say. What am I lobby? Oh, am I in the lobby? I'm not in the lobby. Give me a second, technical stuff. Is TTC observer in a lobby right now? I'm not on that account, and I don't see that lobby. All right. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Sorry about that. Yeah, this part was the very last minute part. It's how we're actually going to manage to get the... Because if you haven't thought about it, obviously we have spectator for Trombone Jam thanks to Electro. But you can't spectate 2 people at once, usually. And obviously we want to see both people play and not just one person. That would be kind of boring for a matchup, right? So we had to figure that out kind of last minute, how we're going to fix something not working on that end. But it is gonna happen through a lot of effort on Sarah's and Electro and yeah, multiple people's side. A lot of people have been working on this. So I'm glad we can show something. And once we get into it and it is up and working, I am sure we will beat up everything here. It's not gonna be this much of a break once we get going. I can promise that much. We've only been live for 22 minutes, guys. It's fine. Copium. We are ready to start. Just so I am. Hold on. Just gonna ask a question real quick. Also, I should put the chat. Yeah, okay. I want to get the chat on my screen too. Perfect. All right. So yeah, we're just gonna wait a little bit, get into the first match. We're ready to go, I think. And for the latecomers, it's IlluminatiSalad number 4 versus Lawr number below 4. I mean, I can check. It will be on screen in a second, I'm fairly sure. Where is Lawr at the moment? 51, okay. And there you have it. Yeah, that's the other. I didn't want to spoil that one. Space Kid has been cooking up some amazing stuff for the intros. And we are into match number 1. We see Illuminati up to an amazing start. I don't think they have missed a single note yet. Oh, there we go. Currently have the live scores at the bottom, so you can keep up with how the competitors are doing. That should be updated pretty much instantaneously, so the score should be pretty damn accurate. And you can see the score difference right now due to the turn constraints. We do not have the percentages on screen, but we will get that as we go. As we see, I mean, not an insurmountable lead coming in from Illuminati, but a very solid performance so far on Mutu. This song, or this chart rather, has a couple of tricky spots. The spacing is a bit tight, which means you have to be pretty accurate with your jumps. The jumps that usually wouldn't maybe be the hardest are going to be made a bit harder because you want to be hanging as long as you can on every note to maximize the points. And obviously to just being consistent in this level of difficulty. This is 3.4 difficulty map, right? So it's going to be a lot about consistency, and we will see the difference in these competitors' levels of consistency coming out already in this first map here, with Illuminati now taking a bigger and bigger lead over Lawr. But as I think the ending is probably the hardest diff spike. Besides, of course, the solo. There's always comeback potential. And here we go. Go wild. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I really do look forward to the solos the competitors will be whipping out with this chart. Illuminati is keeping their lead. And I believe the chart has finished with Illuminati taking the victory in match number 1. It's a bit confused as to why it wasn't ending, but I think actually that's just a chart, right? I actually can't hear the chart right now myself. I have to listen to the stream, which is it's a bit scuffed. So if I suddenly stop talking, that's the reason why I'm trying to listen for a second. Sarah with the carry. Yeah, Sarah has to be in the lobby. She is the one streaming. If you hadn't caught on. But due to some audio issue, she cannot be casting while streaming. Just because the audio does go kind of crazy when she does, sadly. So I will be the one talking in her stead. But yeah, back to the match. IlluminatiSalad does take map number 1. That means it is now Lawr to decide map pick. We will... I actually do want to catch myself in not saying anything wrong here, but I'm fairly sure it's loser's pick, right? I wrote these rules, so I should know. With the grist. No, it's turns. Yeah. It is coin flip and turns. True. It is not loser's pick. I do stand corrected. But Lawr is picking right now. That will mean, regardless of who wins, the person who picks the map will always switch between. So now we're just waiting for Lawr to decide on a map. For the ones we haven't mentioned yet, we also have, of course, Frédéric Chopin. I don't think that's actually how we pronounce his name. I think it's Polish, but Chopin, as I say, with the Nocturne, Opus 9 number 2, an absolute classic. You can't believe the lengths Gloommonk had to go through to get to his manager, you know, like, he's very hard to reach, Chopin, so yeah, that took a lot of work. Credits to Gloomhonk. But yeah, that obviously is a quite tricky map if you played it. Has it's deceivingly hard, right? Like it has those trills in the middle, a lot of rhythm stuff. You kind of just have to really feel, because it's not quite rhythmical, you know, like it's not a metronome. And speaking of Nocturne, it is the map we're going to be playing next. So glad I went on a tangent on that one specifically. So yeah, this map, a lot of like unique challenges compared to your typical trombone champ map. I think the biggest one being the thing I just mentioned. It has a variable tempo, right? So you have to really pay attention to both the notes on the screen and how the music sounds, when it slows down, when it speeds up, etc. And of course, just the trill itself is quite tricky to pull off, but I wonder if we're going to see any FCs in the bracket stage. Maybe. Maybe not. When it comes to it, it's really hard to perform at your best level every time. Once it comes down to it, right? So even if a competitor is able to FC some of these maps in practice, it doesn't mean they're necessarily gonna dominate as hard in the actual tournament. And unlike the qualifiers, here you only get one shot per map. So you gotta make it count. But yeah, we're gonna head into match or chart number 2, I guess. Yeah, chart number 2 for this matchup versus Illuminati and Lawr. It's gonna be Nocturne. Not quite sure if that was a spectator bug or if both players actually did miss the first note. I'm leaning towards spectator bug, because that's not a very hard note to hit. Ooh. Pass. Realizing it's a bit hard to look at two screens at once. I only now realize, but yeah, this is looking like a pretty tight match just from the gameplay itself. A lot of misses from both sides, but usually in the same spots. The live score does tell a slightly different story though, with almost 300,000 lead coming out for Illuminati. But that is far from insurmountable, especially on a map like this. Only takes a couple of missed gaps. Start bleeding points here. So if you can clutch some of these transitions, there's a lot of points to be saved. Very, very clean transition. Almost, at least. It was clean until it quite wasn't, but from Illuminati there on the tap notes. That one is very tricky. Yeah, I do think the screens are inverted. I didn't want to... speculate, but I do believe that to be the case, yes. It had me a bit confused in the start, because what I was seeing was not matching up with the live score, but yeah. Yeah, I do think that is indeed the case. So basically just switch up the screens and the information should be correct, or like the gameplay screens. Regardless, we'll try and see if that can get fixed in the next one. I don't know if that is feasible. If it's not, I'll just keep saying it every time, remind you of it. Because I'm not quite sure why that has happened. So we'll see. I'll let you know before next match if we're gonna have it fixed or not. Regardless, we do see Illuminati taking another dub. That is a very good score, yes. And Illu is heading closer to the point of taking the match, which is, of course, in this best of 9. It's going to be 5 wins you're looking for. 5 wins will give you the full match win, as you can see on the indicators on the top HUD. It does show the match, or like the chart wins, rather. We should probably have a standard name for these, because I already know I'm gonna say the wrong, or like different words for them every time if I don't know exactly what I should call them. The charts, they're maps. Usually you say maps, right? But in Trombone Champ, it's like they're charts, though, right? So I guess you win the chart. So Illu with 2 chart wins right now. I do wonder if we're ever gonna see the tiebreaker Poppy Pro in this first bracket stage. If not, there is gonna be, I can just say this, I guess, on stream. So because I don't think it has been announced quite yet. It probably will be announced, so this is not the only place to know about it. But there's gonna be a show match at the end of the last match in the schedule between Maddie, who was supposed to face Fish Ass for this bracket stage, but Fish Ass could sadly not make time in the schedule. So Maddie would has won on walkover, that one, because he had to forfeit and move on to the losers bracket. So Maddie is on, but we're doing a straw match between Maddie and myself, yours truly, at the end of the last match in the week 1. And the next map has been picked by Lawr? No, okay, no, it's been picked by, yeah, okay. I'm just trying to understand. Yeah, Boy Kisser has been picked. We're playing Boy Kisser. This is Illuminati's pick. Yeah, you can't call them both shards and maps, can you? Can you not? But I feel like most people call them shards here, so. Because you are mapping the notes here still. Okay, we are getting into the match. Boy Kisser. As the person that sharded this, I can say this is mostly pretty comfortable to play. Should not be too hard. But it has a couple tricky parts, especially the solo. Very short song too. And I do believe we have the screens now switched back, so that it will not be as confusing as last time. Illuminati dropping the FC, but still in a solid lead. Coming out of the solo is very clean, Illuminati, with Lawr holding his own. And getting through that diff spike as well. Illuminati does. Lawr does at least this combo. Once we fix the spectator screens, we will get stuff like champ meter in here too, I'm sure. But for now, we're gonna have to stick with this. As we see Illuminati very close to just finishing this up with the FC out of the solo part. Yeah, quick and simple. The boy has been kissed. Shoutouts to Electrostats. That makes it 3 wins for IlluminatiSalad. Lawr, as the underdog, has to make a massive comeback. With his pick being up, we'll see if he has a trick up his sleeve. Maybe he has practices HD skills. And it's going to go for Trombone Skies HD. It is, as far as HD map goes, Trombone Skies quite simple. Trombone Skies is not a very hard map. As you can see, the difficulty is 1.69 with without the HD modifier. With the HD modifier, obviously, it does get a bit harder. But the trickiest part of Trombone Skies HD is definitely the slides. If you have played it or even played it with HD, you will remember that there are some kind of sharp slides. They're not like super sharp, but they definitely, if you're not used to HD, it can still trip you up. It's not a free FC. So, definitely interesting to see who's going to come out on top on that one, if it does get picked. And it is indeed the Trombone Skies. I feel like I'm I'm like somehow predicting the future here. So let's see if Lawr has practices HD modifier. Of course, there are some tricks to it. If you're not aware, you can turn up the scroll speed which is a strategy the top HD players have been using a lot in recent times and have found great success with. Shoutouts to specifically Salad and Albert for those advancements in the strategy. But yes, Alex is saying slides especially is probably the biggest choke point of any HD map. HD technically is pretty similar to memorizing a song, right? Like if you can play it blind, or like HDFL rather, which is just hiding every single note, really. If you have both flashlight and hidden mode on, it will be basically blind. So the difference is, of course, the slides at that point, because they're still pretty hard. We are ready to head into chart number 4 for this match. Is it gonna be match point for IlluminatiSalad, or is it going to be the start of a comeback for Lawr? We will see. So we get a very interesting spectator view here. A bit too hidden, perhaps. Do not worry. The competitors are playing normally. They do in fact see some of the notes. HD machine has broke. But we do see a very even match so far. As I say that, Lawr does seem to have lost combo and lost about 20,000 points, but that is... Wait, maybe not. It's not even a combo loss, that's a minuscule lead. It's all gonna be on who can clutch. But compared is doing very well. I feel like we might have to see a combo break from IlluminatiSalad. But he's just not giving it. Very close matchup. Illuminati just not giving any opportunity to come back. You hate to see that for Lawr, who did do very well on that map, but it just is not quite enough. Yeah, for those who are confused, the spectator view was indeed bugged there. That was hidden modifier. So notes do fade as they come towards your cursor, but they are visible. They're not invisible like that, like we were seeing. Our view was indeed like a bit over the top, hidden, too hidden. That was more HDFL, like the hidden flashlight I was talking about. That looks like it's more like that. But yeah, that makes it match point. Illuminati is sitting on 4-0 in the charts right now. We're gonna have to see a reverse sweep from Lawr if he wants to take this one. And with the charts left, I think that's gonna be an uphill battle. Those are some really hard charts left in the pool, especially perhaps RAM and number hour days as some of the toughest one. I would say. Number Arte is low on the difficulty scale, but has a lot of weird rhythms, courtesy of Max Tundra, that if you are not completely on point might trip you up. It is Illuminati's pick though, so we'll see. At this point, I feel like Illuminati probably feels like they can choose any map they want, because they have such a large lead. I can't really imagine their confidence level being low right now. It is alternating pick, indeed. So the pick map pick is chosen by coin flip for the first one, and then it alternates between per chart. And we have the last map potentially being picked here by Illuminati. It's going to be RAM, the highest strict difficulty left besides the tiebreaker. RAM, of course, quite a fast, jumpy map. You're going to need some flick control on this one, especially in a couple of sections and the ending. White spikes in difficulty. This is, of course, a Yin Yang song, which has some ties to Friday Night Funkin'. Quite the banger. But we'll see. Perhaps Lawr has practiced this one all along and was playing the mind games to reach this point. TTCC. I think this is actually an FC from Illuminati so far. Not quite sure. Spectator can be a bit misleading a couple of times, but I do think. I do think this is an FC so far from Illuminati, which makes every miss so far from Lawr hurt even harder. As we see, Illuminati already take a 800,000 point lead. Yeah, Illuminati just cruising through these sections. Slight miss at the end there, but making it look very easy. That's a very tough section of this chart. So showing a lot of practice coming in clutch here for Lawr as well, who has become much improved at the game since they started recently. Despite that effort, Illuminati is gonna show that they do deserve their number 4 spot on the leaderboards with a pretty crushing first match of this week 1 in TTCC. Lawr did not make it easy though. Definitely, we can say that. But congratulations to Illuminati. Does move on to week 2 in the winners bracket. Lawr will still be in the tournament, but playing from the losers bracket. Both those matches will be played next week, and will be the same shards again, just to avoid confusions on that point. Again, congratulations to IlluminatiSalad, and good luck onwards in the tournament. So, next match is gonna be Electrostats versus Mushy Mushy. It's gonna be later today / in the night, depending on where you live. So I'm gonna try to say this in multiple time zones. If you don't have the info in front of you, again, this is available on all our socials and in the TTCC info chat in the Tutorial Discord if you want to double check it and see the whole schedule. But the next match coming up is going to be in, what is that, 4 hours 20 minutes. Yes, as Emmett said. So that is Friday 10 p.m. EDT, Eastern Daylight Time. It's Saturday 2 a.m. UTC, and it's Saturday 11 a.m. in what's the JST? Jurassic time? Dinosaur time? I'm actually not sure. Whatever JST is, it's 11 a.m. That's going to be our next match. It's going to be Electrostats versus Mushy Mushy. Make sure to turn in then. Our former #1 player playing his first match of TTCC. Currently been dethroned by the HT beasts of Salad and Albertsune. Japan Uboso. I didn't know Japan had their own time. Yeah, Japanese time, that makes more sense. I'll take that too. Guys, did you know Kiribati has the craziest time zone? Look that stuff up. It's insane. Anyways, yeah. 4 hours 20. Come back here in 4 hours 20 and we will have another match on our hands. And then tomorrow we have a nutty schedule. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches if you include the show match at the end, which is going to be at the very end of the matches tomorrow. It's going to be a show match. But other than that, we have 5 matches. Pretty much back to back. It's a 1 hour gap in between, but they do start at... I don't want to go through all the time zones again, but okay, we're going to do that anyways. It starts at 2 p.m. EDT, 6 p.m. UTC, and Sunday at 3 a.m. in Jurassic time / Japan time. Tomorrow, right? So that's the big one. Make sure to tune in then. We'll probably ping in the Discord as well for those who didn't catch it. Alright. I think that's it for this match though. I'll see you all in 4 hours 20. Make sure you all stay up, okay? Alright.